Hey, friends. Welcome to your next episode of Real World Astrology with myself, Heather Botkin, and co-conspirator Miriam Kramer. We're glad to have you back. That we have plenty of things going on today that we are happy to cover with you. For starters, we're going to go ahead and go over this rare new moon in Scorpio that we're having, and the Mercury Cazimi, plus all the rest of the transits for the rest of the month. Just kind of touch base so you know energetically where you're at. Miriam has also got some surprise news, crazy news stories for us, but that'll be a little later on in the episode. After we cover the chart, stay tuned because we are going to do the sign by sign breakdown for this new moon and the transits for the rest of the month for each of the 12 sun and rising signs. Also, we're going to cover the tarot card that matches this energy, just like we did on the last episode. So we'll go over the tarot card, and one lucky person has had their name selected to have Miriam do an evolutionary astrology like mini read for them. So this is one of our patrons, and it's one of our offerings that we are giving to our patrons, to where you, if you are a patron member of Woke.Ones.Revolution, then we will, if we select your chart, we'll contact you and see if you're down to have your chart read here by us. So we're going to do that, plus talk about some interesting things that happened, including a peacock that seems to be stalking me and showing up at the house. Got some cool pictures, so stick with us. We're glad to have you, and be sure to like, share, subscribe, and yeah, our Patreon link is going to be in this video description, so be sure to check it out. Miriam, you ready to get started, baby, with the
Yep.
new moon transits and kind of talk a little bit about that?
Where do you want to start?
Okay, so we have a Scorpio, spooky Scorpio new moon happening on the 20th, just after midnight here, Central Standard Time. But if you take a look, it's happening at 28 degrees Scorpio. A new moon is where the sun and the moon are conjunct, and it's dark. You can't see it in the sky, but it is typically the beginning of a new moon cycle. And this one, it packs a very unique and rare punch that I don't know if I've ever seen. Miriam, I don't, have you? Like, where there is a Mercury retrograde Cazimi, where it's conjunct the new moon. That's pretty exciting. And not to mention the fact that we've got all kinds of other things going on. The fact that water is highly activated right now, like everything's in water signs. We have the new moon in the water sign, Mercury's in the water sign of Scorpio, Venus, Lilith. Over in Pisces, we've got Neptune retrograde, Saturn retrograde, the North Node. And we do have one little floater down here in Cancer. We've got Jupiter just went retrograde on November the 11th down in Cancer, another water sign. So again, another week or so full of just all the feels, all the emotional, all the psychic kind of vibes happening. And yeah, you heard me say all those retrogrades. Everything's retrograde pretty much right now. So if it feels like everything's sped up tremendously, then all of a sudden come to molasses. That's why everything's in retrograde. And yeah, so what do you notice right off the bat that you want to point out, Miriam?
Well, there's a couple of sextiles that are interesting to me. The South Node with Venus in Scorpio and the South Node in Virgo would sort of aid and abet
Ooh.
some sort of obsession with something. And depending on what house those two signs rule in your chart, those would be the tools offered from one side to the other. And then there's another sextile with Chiron in Aries and Jupiter in Cancer, both retrograde. And that lies on the Cancer Capricorn axes.
Yeah.
So this is what I picked up today, okay? From my pattern recognition, I could tell that yesterday Aries was getting this preview sort of the most important thing that Neptune is going to be looking at in your Aries sweep on the positive side. And it looked pretty positive, for the next 12 and a half years. And then I was like, okay, wherever Jupiter is right now, because Mars is in Sag, and if you look at the chart, Mars is in conjunct to Jupiter, and that's a first 150-degree angle. So you're going to have someone who is looking at their identity, how they fit in the picture, and how perhaps how they used to fit in the picture, because it is retrograde. And Mars, notice, is not. Mars is pulling.
Thank goodness Mars isn't retrograde.
So what I saw was wherever your personal planet is, Jupiter, wherever it is, Cancer is about the womb. So these are going to be inside feelings that nobody can see unless you crack your face. So poker face, absolute poker face, because whatever you're being challenged with right now, it is racing rather quickly. And you have feelings about it.
Yeah,
quite a bit. And it either has to do with the role that you play at work, in your marriage, as a friend, the role that you play, and then the role that you need. But that's my take.
Yeah, needs versus desires. Yeah, for sure. And with all of this water energy, and Scorpio's very internal to begin with. So all of that deep internal work is definitely part of this Scorpio new moon. I can't get over this opposition to Uranus that just retrograded to the 29 degree of Taurus. So we do have a little bit of Earth back, but it's definitely unstable Earth. 29 degrees is an anaretic degree, and that opposition to the new moon with Mercury retrograde cazimi the new moon, that is not only deep reflection, but that, Scorpio is very much about what's hidden, secrets, scandals, Lilith is tucked up right there too. And Venus is straggling just a little bit behind, but that opposition to Uranus is very indicative of not only like brilliant flashes of intuition just suddenly popping through and showing you a way where you didn't really think there was a way to begin with, some immediate solution, or even some shocking news, which, if y'all have been hearing what's happening today, and yesterday with the House and Senate and the files and getting stuff signed off, there's about to be some deep secrets revealed that have been hidden for underneath for quite some time. And Mercury, Mercury he's such a trickster. He cracks me up because it's kind of like he's been trucking along his way. He already went up into Sag and then, had a little bit of a time in there, and now he backed back up, and he is going back to do a little gossiping almost. He's no stranger to the underworld, and so I'm sure Mercury right about this time is pretty adamant on speaking that uncomfortable thing that needs to be said, that Uranus, that break. That I've never seen this before. And again, the Tower card is Uranus all day long. Suddenly, and these headlines that we've got coming out, keep your eye posted. And I'd say if you're somebody being extra secretive right now, you may want to make sure you're being truthful because something might just come back and bite you in the rear end. And, one other sextile that I want to bring up real fast is that Uranus is sextile Neptune, right? So that Uranus sextile Neptune, that adds to that spiritual moment, opportunity to be able to really go within. And if you're wanting to get some answers to some of those questions that you've been holding inside, Uranus and Neptune are going to help that realize really fast. So I almost feel like, in a way, Miriam, that after this new moon, people individually are going to be feeling a whole lot different. That's what I've got pretty much for the new moon. Any other points that you want to hit on?
As Mercury goes retrograde, at some point, the new moon is going to pass in front of the sun. But it's a new moon, so it's quiet. Can't see it.
Right.
The intentions here for Cancer and what's Jupiter thinking about, no one's going to be able to see. It's all internal. However, at some point, the moon passing over the sun, right? Sneaking it by the quarterback, literally, is going to hit Mercury going retrograde.
Yeah.
And there will be a pass through of either a thought, a choice, a communication, could be something new, of course, as the emotions are building up there. There could be an awkward conversation, maybe even if someone calls another person, but they don't say anything about it.
Little timid, maybe.
Yeah, because in Scorpio, I looked at it, and the more I sat with it, it felt a lot like Neptune is like gas, or it's gaseous. It's fog.
Yeah,
It's fog.
very much so.
Except Neptune is next to the mountain, Saturn.
Yeah.
And
And he's like
Uranus in
sitting
Taurus,
still.
it's like, seriously, I'm not even kidding. I don't know if you guys know right now, but Mount Rainier is on high alert right now. And in the past 24 hours, it went from like just a few lines on the graph to the whole page, scribbly, all the way up and down. And yeah.
On the
So when I
seismograph.
saw that, yeah, the seismograph, that's the mountain. And you got some gas coming out through the cracks. So when I look to the right and I see our guy moving the ball past the quarterback without the quarterback seeing it, and the gas over here is breaking through the mountain cracks. Right there. This is an internal choice. And it's going to be made. And I would assume because Pluto is at the forefront of that kite right there at 1 degree, let's not forget that,
Oh,
which is
yes.
also squaring Uranus retrograde. The weather, Aquarius, clouds, smoke, the aliens. Let's not forget those guys.
Oh, yeah.
The
Three-Eye Atlas.
aliens. Three-Eye Atlas. Let's not forget that at 3 p.m. Eastern time today, NASA went live to share with the world the photographs they got from Three-Eye Atlas. And why, oh why, pray tell, do we have a $1 billion telescope, the James Webb telescope? We have the large telescope in Brazil, the extra large telescope in like another country, Chile. We have the best telescopes in the universe. Why did NASA deflect today during the live stream? I'm like looking through and everybody's very disappointed.
Yeah. Yeah.
NASA can get crisp, not just photographs, but chemical, inorganic chemical compositions of stuff out there. And you mean to tell me,
It's like a B-rated movie
you see what I mean?
cinematography.
On the
Horrible.
right, NASA's like using the new moon energy, sneaking something by us.
Yeah.
The Cassini was today, right?
Yeah.
Here's my bets. My bets is that this silent move that was done today, yesterday, or tomorrow, right? Maybe the next day.
Yeah.
It's a silent pass over. Mercury will continue going retrograde until it's on the other side of the sun, which means it's got to pass over the sun.
Mm-hmm.
At which point, Venus should be at the last degrees of Scorpio, ready to move into Sag. And so I bet you looks. Hell hath no fury. Like a woman, what's the word?
Scorned.
Scorned.
Yeah.
Hell hath no fury.
It's been a
Like a
couple
woman
months of that
scorned.
story.
A
You think about
Scorpio. I mean, think
that
about it. You
Scorpio
tell
story.
me, because you sneak something by a Scorpio, you about just check yourself out, man. And this is what a Scorpio would say. I want you to get on a boat. I want you to go directly into a hurricane. I want you to stay in there. And then I never want to hear from you again.
I love that you brought up that storyline and Venus catching up and how Mercury's going to be backing up. And because I remember for, all through coming up into Scorpio season, that whole part, Scorpio was loaded with Mars, with Mercury, with
Yeah.
Lilith, with Juno, with all of them. And you knew all those personal planets had some stuff about some shenanigans that have been happening in the dark and some secrets and it's not even I'm not gonna lie about this, especially if we're talking about the depths of it. Well, that's the house of sex, death, and taxes, right? Exchanges for money, those kind of actions for money. It's all hidden stuff, and
That's so
watching
bad.
Venus edge up into Scorpio and her hanging behind everybody else's story. Everybody else already knows.
Dude, where's my
Venus hasn't found
ephemerals?
out yet. She's
Because,
like edging into finding out about the kaboom.
Chiron will be in that second half, should be, or close to it, of the last decan of Aries, which is Sagittarius ruled. Oh, say it isn't so, O Aries, O Chiron, that the ruler Mars is cruising through Sagittarius.
Yeah.
Is this a race? Is it a race? A race. Is that what this is?
Who's going to say it first?
No, I'm serious. Venus
Who's
is
going to?
coming up to the end,
Yeah.
and Mars is getting this smoke coverage. Or you could technically say with Saturn in Pisces, all the guards are sitting down taking a donut break. And it's what? Nobody's looking at you.
Yeah.
There's mist, there's fog.
So I think that grand trine itself, that water grand trine, is helping add to that fog because it's making it a little too easy, making people say, "Oh, this is a little too easy that I can skirt by this," but it's not because those emotions run so deep. It's just going to take that pop, and Saturn is sitting still. He's going to be stationing any day now. So he's like literally just moving seconds a day.
I know.
So
This is something though with Saturn, and I have to say this.
yeah,
This is something with Saturn where the person is thinking about how to put it into place.
yes.
What would it take? Because Sagittarius plans
Mm-hmm.
with Virgo, South Node, ruler of Virgo in Sag. What would it take to actually do the thing?
Well, I
I
think
think
that's
they're also doing.
yeah, I think that's where
I'm
also
looking now. I'm looking.
also where Uranus and Neptune, like that sextile between them, it's a it's a helpful, friendly, energetic move that definitely is all about inspiration, like set that sudden download to help get the answer of this is how you can do it is what I think, because it goes into the subconscious and directly to the body of Taurus. So, and yeah, she was mentioned, I know she's looking something up, but she was also mentioning that Mount Rainier and Uranus at 29 degrees Taurus is incredibly unstable. And that is the energy of earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, all that kind of stuff. Jupiter and Cancer. You've seen there's countries that are getting flooded, the big water type events, all of that's still very much in play with all of this water. I'm excited to hear what you find on that.
Like the 26th and the 27th of November. And that is when Saturn goes direct. Almost like a pirouette. Is that what they would call it? I
Yeah,
can see the Capricorn just going, and I'll take those lottery tickets. Bye-bye. And then
yeah,
out the door they go. And you're like, did I just lose my job? Did I just get
yeah,
kicked out of the house? Was
yeah,
that a lottery ticket I just won?
yeah,
Because Saturn goes direct.
yeah. Back in
And that's
business.
the last time in Pisces.
Yeah,
Aries, full speed ahead. You can see it like this whole time. Saturn was like, no, no, no. Have you ever seen the movie, The Greatest? Is it The Greatest Escape? It's an old timey movie
I can't say that I have.
about some prisoners of war in World War II, and they dug into the ground and took turns. Americans, The Great Escape. Some got away. I think like four actually. There's like 25 that broke out of the place in the movie. I'm sure this was based on a
Right.
true story, but like most of them were captured. I think only four made it to France or something like that. The Greatest Escape. That's what this is. It's like, I mean, I'm seeing football. I don't even watch football, but it is. It's like, so whose agenda is this? Whose agenda is this? The moon's. The moon, Jupiter in Cancer. Jupiter is mama, and mama's saying, I'll take that. Thank you. Goodbye. That's why I saw like a
Yeah,
female Capricorn.
yeah.
Just
There-
walking in, snatching the tickets, doing a pirouette, and walking out the door right through the smoke, you
And
know.
don't forget, like, Scorpio is also very psychological. Okay. So it has to do with all this water is a bunch of feelings, right? Scorpio is very psychological. So that it's talking, this new moon is like talking about the integration of your spiritual and psychological self
At the
to,
Thanksgiving dinner table.
no crap, Saturn, it is on
It
Thanksgiving.
is on Thanksgiving.
Saturn direct in Pisces on November 27th. So, you know,
Love that. Go Cap.
what was once smoky and foggy is now clear as freaking day. So,
Established. Handshake. It's
yeah,
done.
yeah,
It's signed. Get
yeah,
out. It's signed. Take it. Whatever this is, I think the whole gang's up on it except the sun. I think the
right,
sun is like toodly doodly doo.
right. This, hey,
Yeah, like
I'm just gonna shine
moving
my
towards
light and y'all get
Sag.
busy telling me what to focus on.
Just it's a new day. I feel better coming up out of the deep, right? Now I'm gonna
Right?
go swing off a rope into the lake.
Very much so. Oh, hey. And also, so I didn't even like get into it,
That's
but
cute.
I always do like to talk, well, not just me, we like to go over the Sabian symbols
Oh
for
yeah.
the new moon. And I had pulled them as well as the Sabian for Uranus because that opposition to that Mercury retrograde Cassimi new moon in Scorpio is it's so potent, and I kind of wanted to help put it into put it into
Letter.
context here. Um, so Dane Rujar cites the new moon at 29 Scorpio as an Indian woman pleading to the chief for the lives of her children. James Burgess has it as pretty similar. Indian woman pleading for to her chief for the lives of her children. It's where our instincts get the better of us and our behavior goes outside of acceptable limits. And we have to find a way to, center our peace. The Chandra symbol, for 29 Scorpio, check this out. An umbilical cord.
Oh.
Definitely completely attached, but what you're attached to changes drastically. Each time it is the source of sustenance. If at first a mother, womb, an elemental past, it can easily become later on a great teacher, a path, a journey. You are still thoroughly, personally hooked into the sweetness, the juice, the
Mm-hmm.
power. Yet, as the levels shift, as the
Mm-hmm.
attunement deepens, you go from destructive enmeshment towards
Right.
incredible openings. And as you learn to cut loose from each last thing and to move towards the next greater thing, you become adept in the rough process of
Mm-hmm.
inner soul work. You have an extraordinary aptitude for taking the most binding and heavy duty circuits and moving into and through them, grasping hold of the guiding influence of ever greater circles of allegiance, leading eventually towards mutation and evolutionary breakthrough of the first magnitude. Boom.
You know, um, if you think about it, any planet that goes through the 12th house or Pisces energy, it's meant to dissolve,
Yeah.
right? This is Saturn's last dissolving as it goes direct, literally on the 27th, and like I'm out of here. Um, to swap out systems. And I'm just gonna throw this in the pot because Saturn is about the organization of systems and how they run. Who's in authority, who's making the choices, who has the liberty to go sign for that credit card.
Yeah.
It's this new system, though. Man, 2 weeks now. Has it been 2 weeks? I'm not quite sure. There's this lady on TikTok who decided to do that social experiment.
Oh,
And
yeah.
yeah, she chose to call those 30. I don't know if it's 30 or 60. I think it's like 30 or 40. I don't know. I just know that she called enough of them where they all said no except 3. And she recorded the calls. She did call one of the ones that said yes was a mosque. She called a mosque. And when they answered the phone, they said, yes, come here. We'll make sure your baby is taken care of. The second one, I think, was Baptist church, I want to say.
It was like baby formula, right? Like my
In
baby's hungry.
Kentucky. Yeah.
She was asking for that.
And then the third one was the Appalachian Pawpaw. This pastor of a really small church up in the Appalachian Mountains. And he said, absolutely, what flavor do you need is what he asked.
Yeah.
It ignited this catalyst that took off across the world. Like I want to say in the first 3 days, it got 1 million views and everybody has something to say. And I find this strange, right? Because you saw enough people to jump in and interact with the posts to say, we need a new system.
Yeah.
So what were people doing? They were starting food banks out in their front yard. Food banks. And the community said, you know what? This guy's got the right idea. And they started throwing money and resources at him and said, keep going, right? At the same time, last night, not sure if you knew this, the new Pope is American, right? Comes from Chicago, I want to say.
Yeah, yeah.
So he gives his invocation, I guess, for the 75th year anniversary of something or other. It's a big deal, I guess. And as soon as he clips off the last word, the rave lights come out. Like you're in Korea or Europe, and you're like, what? And the music's pumping, and there's people, some of the people in the audience are like, what just happened? And other people are like mashing and jumping up and down and having a blast. And there's the Pope, and the light in the middle of all of the spearheaded lights.
Oh, that's so funny.
Cross.
That is so funny.
And this dude was like, where am I right now?
Man, that Neptune and Pisces is a nut, isn't it?
So it's kind of like systems that are dissolving to make way for the new system. But I do honestly think that it's a cover for something else that's probably needed with that Chiron connection.
That I would agree with that.
It's needed. So the question is, who's holding back? Who's being the a-hole here? That Uranus and Taurus is trying to break the land free.
Yeah.
The pressure in Pluto and Aquarius, this buildup, this connection with Jupiter. Because if you see, Jupiter in Cancer, this is blowing something up. Bigger and bigger and bigger. Pluto with that pressure in the upper atmosphere, inside of the container, outside of the container. Container's blowing up, Pluto squeezing down the barometric pressure in the atmosphere, and then all of a sudden something goes pop.
Yeah.
Yes, sirree.
I mean, it is, no, it's there. And no, I love that you brought that up. And when I was looking at this a little deeper too, a couple other things to point out with the transits right now. All this esoteric stuff. Okay, Scorpio, a lot of it in this grand trine, all being in water, is very, like it mentioned, the umbilical cord, right? The umbilical cord, the womb, mother, maternal,
Yes.
the maternal ancestral line specifically
Yes.
helping push. Um, there's you can't
Yeah.
have lack of accountability in this. This is one of those that's like, okay, there are karmic consequences.
Look at the
Yes.
semi-sextile from here to here, you know,
Yeah.
and you have not just dissolving, but transforming, but it's transformation through pressure.
Yeah.
Like the
Extreme
pressure and the
uncomfortable.
strain got too great for something.
I think there's definitely some divine intervention coming in to
And
cut
that would
some
be the
stuff off.
Epstein files.
Yes. Yeah.
They weren't
Yeah.
going to win that.
No.
So, technically, by the rules of Pluto, wherever Pluto is, there is a dominance that is happening, one person over another.
Yeah.
It's not fair. It's not supposed to be fair. And it's in the first decan. And you have the people who are en masse, for real, coming out to watch the Pope do some rave.
hmm
Not
Or
just for
watch those in power.
Epstein.
Or watch
Yeah,
those in
the
power get
voting, right?
what?
The voting that occurred, and they passed it. Now they have to open the Epstein files.
Yeah, it's like you can sit there and wait another day and wait another day and talk about the 2000 you're going to send plus this, that, and the other thing, but all you're doing is
Yes.
trying to bypass these karmic consequences of your imperfections. You human, it's human imperfections, they're going to show it to you.
So it would be like, one, go ahead, keep talking, because I'm going to make a list.
You're going to make a list. Okay,
I
well, I'm going to
am.
keep talking, but I'm actually going to kind of move to the other side of the board, which is the checkmate with Uranus over in Taurus as you're making
I
your
think that's
board.
the consequence.
Oh, I think well, that very well could be the consequence, but I think it's part of the break, you know. Um, so what I was going to look at here was the Sabian symbol for 29 Taurus. So James Burgess has it as a peacock parading on an ancient lawn. Keyword being embellishment. Our personal displays of excellence bears testimony to all that went before us. Okay. Um, the inside degrees for Taurus 30 is snakes at rest on a rock in the sun, remembering everything, living in retrospect, in touch and in tune with a myriad of pasts. You view these at leisure lingeringly, and sometimes you go through them again in a very familiar fashion, and at other times, all you have to do is see it. But there are so many karmas, and everything feels like it's been going on forever. A certain soul mood of nostalgia laced with regrets, a backward gaze that cannot be shaken off. For mighty things have happened, and as you ruminate upon all of it, you deeply, inwardly decide slowly and gradually for your future and much about a larger future, with the keynote being whether you can come to a true affirmation of this earth process and journey, or whether instead you subtly curse or scorn what you are reviewing simply because it's just all too much and it's all so tempting to put down or to put in the right place and to feel superior in a way that blights the future. Oh my goodness, it just speaks to the story of what's what's unfolding right now. Did I ever tell you that I love astrology?
Oh,
And
man.
if you guys are wondering where I was getting that Chandra symbol, there's a book called Inside Degrees. Elias Lonsdale is the
Oh, here,
author. It's
I
a
got it.
Chandra symbol, which is
No
very
problem.
similar to the Sabian symbols. You always round up a degree. Bu it cut you out, babe. There it is. Beep. She's a magician now. Inside
It wants
degrees.
my face. It keeps trying to go for my face. That's what it looks like, guys. Okay, good. There you go.
But yeah, like it's interesting because I don't know if you guys realize this, but it takes Uranus 8 years to transit through each zodiac sign. Sometimes a little longer, with retrogrades and whatnot. But this is, since it's going to be moving back into Gemini and not backing up to Taurus again for 84 more freaking years, like to be back in Taurus, this is the final sun opposite Uranus that we are having in our lives, and for it to be happening with a Mercury cazimi on it, that's what I'm saying, y'all. It's potent. It is potent. So if you have something ruminating through you on such a deep level that's screaming, do it, do it, do it. We're right here with you, chanting you on. Do
Well,
it.
Mars is in Sag. What else are they saying?
True.
These are frat guys at a college, right?
Right? In
They don't
college.
care. They're a bunch of dudes running around.
Yeah.
Like, do it,
Naturals, higher, higher,
do it.
higher education. Yeah.
Jump in the pool, do the bomb.
Yeah, exactly. But I'll say don't be the one to just randomly go, oh, well, everything's normal. I had a sudden thought and now I'm going to break up my whole life. Don't do that. But like if you've been ruminating on this, you saw everything I read had to do with ruminating. It's been there a long, long time. And also the synchronicities. I will also just hand that off to say, these next few days, pay attention to the synchronicities. And once Miriam's done talking about this and we're done talking about it, I'm going to show you our beautiful synchronicity that happened to us.
I want to see how many people catch that you said that at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Because you were saying it and I was smiling, and then all of a sudden you got real serious, and I was like, oh, that's bad. But we'll see if you catch it. I would love to hear if you caught it in the comments down below.
Yeah.
Because it's been a wild day.
Few week.
A wild week.
It has been a wild week.
It's been a zoo.
Yeah. With suitcases and what?
Oh my God. Oh no. Tell the story, Heather. Tell it. Oh my God.
Finish talking about, okay.
No,
We'll
no,
tell
because
it-
that's
we'll
the
tell it all
clue.
together.
That's the clue. It's been a zoo. That's the clue. I'm not saying anything. Now,
Yeah. Yeah. Do you
bypass the dad joke and go to the disturbing suitcase at the park yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I will. Let me take a drink first.
Okay. So the scene. Let me give you the scene.
Preface it. Yeah.
Heather and I, we love going down to the creek here in Del Rio. It's beautiful. Lots of animals and stuff. But we were looking at the fish, we were looking at the crane, eating her dinner, and then get disturbed. And then behind us was one of those cool amphitheater seatings arrangements. You could tell it was made a long time ago, but they used stones, white, dolomite, calcium, limestone stones. And they were in this really cool pattern where when it rains, the culverts come down in like an upper reservoir into a lower reservoir so that it could spill back into the creek and go back into the water system, the natural water system, y'all, not like a wastewater system.
Oh, it's clean, clean water.
It's gorgeous. It's like Florida water in some places. Anyway, so there we were when Heather turns around and goes, I wonder what they keep in there. And I'll stop.
So I wonder what they kept in there, because you know how like when you go to the zoo, they have an area tucked back inside of a cave, and it's got bars on the front, like where maybe they would have, lions go back in there, and they needed to have cages. Well, I'm checking it out, and somebody had spray painted. It was clearly like they used to do some kind of
Yeah.
shows with animals, and that made my heart warm. And I'm like, I wonder what they kept in here. Well, somebody had, well, here, like, graffiti is encouraged because
Yeah.
they make it art. And
Yeah.
inside of this cage, somebody in black spray paint
Mm.
had spray painted or tagged "Be Someone." And I was like, that's really cool. But I couldn't really get the letters right, standing too far back to take a picture. So I walk up to get in between the bars to take a picture of this
Yeah.
"Be Someone" on this gel-like animal cage. Uh, and I look over to my left, and tucked behind it was almost like part of a waterfall, but tucked behind this little bowl was like a Samsonite. No, not Dumb and Dumber, but
It
a
wouldn't have been that
Samsonite
nice.
suit. No, it wasn't. It was
It's
like a
really
little
not.
carry-on suitcase with
Yeah.
wheels. It was black, and it was tucked back in the corner. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yo,
It's
come.
dirty. It was
Yeah,
black, but it had like rubbed in dirt,
yeah, like
and
it'd been
some of
there
the
for a
zippers
minute.
were open. And
I was like, dude, come check this out.
it's like somebody
And she's
tucked a suitcase. And I was checking when we walked back. I was thinking in my head, which angle could you be standing at and see this thing? They
yeah,
tucked it well.
no
Okay.
place. You couldn't
Tucked
stand
it
any place
very
better.
well. Nobody could see it probably from any angle.
At first
Well,
thought,
my first thought was, ooh, I don't want to put my fingerprints on that because I don't want to go to jail and I don't want the cartel running after me. And then Heather says,
my Virgo just thought, ooh, gross. It's probably some homeless person's, or there could be
or
body parts in there, like
body
bones.
parts chopped up in a 2-foot suitcase. And I was like,
Let's go.
you always got to go there, don't you? Like,
I
I'm
don't need the
like, dude, I'm
cartel
trying not to
chasing
go to
me. We're just
jail. You're
gonna,
like,
you don't need no cops or cartel. We'll see y'all later. We just walked
yeah,
away.
we're not going to get followed by those guys.
Yeah.
They're here. Obviously, they're here. It's just not here.
And then, of course, while we're there,
No.
we find this bench. We happen upon a bench, sit down, and for the first time in my life, and it's all like there's woodsy area behind it, all
Yeah.
kinds of trees. This what is it? A yellow crowned night heron.
Yeah.
The female came down first, caught a fish, and then the man came down and ticked her off because then she had to move. So we got to watch a pair of herons, but
I have bad feelings about each other.
it's not. That was just our trip yesterday. But we had another trip a day before, and I've got some pictures we'll share shortly.
Yes. There's cichlids in there, the bottom sucker fish, lots
Yeah,
of those. There's
they're
bass in that
huge.
creek. Turtles. We saw the snapping turtle kind. Um, we saw all the variety of ducks that you can imagine.
Yeah,
Heather didn't know a dang one of them except the mallard and
the mallard
the
and
geese.
the goose. Yeah, the
And
white
there we
geese.
were at the park 2 days, no, 3 days ago, walking, having a good nature walk with the beautiful sound of the rushing water. And we look across the ducks to the other side. And don't you know, Heather?
So I'm watching all these ducks and I'm just fascinated. I'm taking footage of them, recording. We didn't have any bread or anything, but I look up and lo and behold, it's a damn peacock
A
across the
peacock
river, across the creek bed, like on the
across
other
the
side of the bank, all up to the water, like, yo, yo. But that's not my first rodeo with this peacock. So this peacock, this peacock, my goodness, it when I first moved down here, within the first week, I was sitting outside and I hear this whoa, whoa,
Yeah,
you
she's
know, and
doing
I'm
that
like,
so
what is
well. You
that
know what I mean?
noise?
She's doing that
And
so well.
I stand up and I look around the corner, and this peacock's just staring at me from across the street. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what? This place is so gangsta that they got peacocks on the corner trying to get my attention. What? And this thing came over and walked by. I was able to get some pictures. It was pretty cool. But yeah, I hadn't seen him in a while. But yeah, it was really interesting. He just popped his head over there like, yo, hey, I remember you. What you got? Like nobody knows where this peacock's coming from.
Right?
So
The
it's just
peacock is stalking her.
all these little beautiful magic synchronicities. And
They are.
what did I just read to you? The Sabian symbol for 30 Taurus,
Yes.
peacock parading in an ancient lawn. That
30
I
Taurus.
literally just looked up today. And once we're done with this, I'm going to share screen and show something too.
Dude, let me stop my share over here and just let you do it.
Well, you had points, babe. You had
This is
points.
like the best story time ever.
Okay,
You got to show
well,
them the proof.
yeah, let me see if I can get
Amen.
into my here. I have to do it this way. I don't know how else to do it.
No, do
So
it.
it's in my downloads, wherever my downloads went. I don't know. I don't know where they went. Oh, this is horrible.
Oh,
You,
stop sharing. Do that. Get it up. Because, yeah, I don't want them to see all your stuff.
oh, I don't care. I just was trying to.
Okay.
I can't even minimize it. Where's my Zoom at?
If you're okay, I'm okay.
Well, it happens. So maybe I need to download something else so my drive pops back up. That's what I'll try to do.
Weird. Where
Yeah, I
is your
had an
download?
email. I'm sorry, y'all. We'll get there.
Okay, so this is what we did today. I was counting how many tarot decks that we could use for the tarot of the week because we want to involve you guys. And I'll say this now and then I'll say it again. We want to get you guys involved and show you the decks 3 at a time. And then we're going to take a vote. We're going to do a poll.
Oh, yeah.
And we want to see which tarot deck you want us to pull from to do the tarot of the week because these are beautiful artists. Some of them are like elegant, and then some of them are whimsical, and then some of them are just like I showed her the Hondel deck today. I'm not sure if you guys know the Hondel deck, but the imagery of the Hondel deck, uh, you could get lost in the card, you know. And I thought last week was so, or last time we recorded was so cool with both of us reading just one card together. We saw a lot and it was
Yeah.
cool. So we want you guys to pitch in too. Get to work.
We'll touch base at the end and we'll show you the decks, and that way you can
Yeah.
see them. And we'll have you comment like one, two, three, or four
Yeah.
based on that. So that's how you can that's how we'll poll you. You'll just
Yeah.
put it in the comments. We'll touch base and show you it at the end of the
Yeah.
video. I
We
think
want
I
to see what system works because what if we find something cool and we want to do, giveaway?
yeah.
Show us how we can do that with you so that we can
Yeah.
play together.
Exactly. And as far as giveaways, like I've mentioned it, we're wanting to have some really awesome giveaways. We just want help us hit 1,000 subscribers, y'all. We're here for you. Help get us there, and we will have giveaways for readings, for decks, all kinds of goodies.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Until I think up something better,
Well, that and our patrons
like
too.
the Devil's Run. We've talked about it. Don't know what I'm talking about. Put it in YouTube and put the Devil's Run.
That sounds
That's what
dangerous.
we should do. We should invite everybody out here and all of us go do the Devil's Run together. That'd be cool.
Does it involve literal running? Because I'm out.
No, 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 no. It's the
Okay.
White River rafting, and you go camping for 3 days. You get in the boat for 3 days. They've got you, and you go down the rapids, and it's like 45 minutes from here, an hour.
I'd be in it in a minute. I'd be in it in a minute.
I know.
Ah! All right, I'm going to share my screen, y'all. I don't care if you see what I've got in here, but check it out. So today, this little dude ends up showing up in our backyard.
Our backyard.
And if I go here, I think I got a better picture of him.
We have like a 5-foot wall. That is a 5-foot concrete wall. And that bird hopped up, stood there looking beautiful for a while, and then jumped into the yard.
Yeah, I was out on the balcony having my coffee, and me and Miriam were just talking, and I had heard him do his call, but I didn't see him anywhere, and we were just doing our talk, and then randomly he just pokes up from behind the trees. There he is.
He stayed there with us for like 25 minutes or something.
Yeah, he had, this was the other day when he was at sorry, I got all kinds of, that was a little video.
That was today. Yeah, look at that. That's good footage, you. Well done.
That was when we were feeding the ducks.
That was when we were feeding the ducks.
Look at that.
Well, we weren't feeding them, but
he just poked up and was like, yo, hey. And so I thought I'd sit down on the ledge because he came back later. He came back later and was eating crackers.
Look at him.
I almost got him to eat out of my hand. It was so close.
I mean, that's a 5-foot wall. So I was like, oh, I hope the peacock wants to stay. Iris can use the front yard, and we'll have a peacock as a friend.
Yeah.
Who would have thought, right? 29 Taurus peacock, and then an actual peacock shows up. And I was just looking at Heather this morning going, dude, you and I get together and whatever magnet thing happens, all these animals just started showing up. And then she looks at me and she goes, I'm Snow White here.
You may call me Snow White now.
And I'm like, oh my God, you really are. Del Rio, she's Snow White. I'm like, what in the world? Man.
Anyways, so pay attention to the synchronicities because y'all, they're everywhere and they're undeniable, and it's only there to help validate.
My face, I smiled so much.
Ain't nothing wrong with smiling.
I know, I said it hurt my face. We've been smiling for days. Just wow.
There have been so many beautiful little
beautiful
blessings.
Moments, and intimate moments, quiet moments together, but just
beautiful little surprises that warm your heart. And it's just remember to be grateful. Gratitude, it just fills your cup, and not only does it fill your cup, but it brings more. It brings more things to be grateful for. And the more you come from things with a lack and bummer mentality, the less cool stuff you're going to have happen in your life. So live in your magic, love life, unapologetically love yourself, be in love. Like you were listening to music.
I know. I tell him what I do. Just tell him.
So earlier I went in to talk to her about the tarot card that we were going to cover in today's episode. And she was listening to some love music, and she's like, I love music. I love being in love, and I'm just in love. It's like, I thought, like it's important to be in love with yourself, or that's kind of how.
Well, I had thought when I am in love, I'm the one feeling that love, that level of love. Cancer is the womb. My body, you said it, is the skin ruled by Cancer. You asked that question. Well,
like a container.
I'm the container. I'm the mandala. I'm the gas tank. And if listening to love jazz or listening to Disney love music or whatever, if it encourages me to lift to my highest place, with my Libra placements of all things, my Leo placements, I'm the one feeling the in love feeling. There's nobody else here. It's me. And I'm riding high, and I'm not disillusioned because we still eat and we still walk the dog and throw the ball and do our work. But I'm carrying this highest vibrational thing with my Venus placement. So why not just sit here and play all the love songs and make myself fly?
Right?
It
Yeah,
just makes sense.
well, and with all the energies that are happening right now, and I just kind of want to point out that, like I said, there's so much psychological and emotional and deep, foggy stuff going on with that water grand trine. It, I would highly recommend it. I would highly recommend to really go within and try to hold that lighter side, hold the love within and the compassion for yourself, because this is a time that very easily people could be living in their worst fears, like of all the things, the doom and gloom that people are feeling,
Yeah.
or feeling like they're at the brink of everything falling apart and not knowing what to do. The answer, not to sound too cliche, is love. Love,
I mean,
love.
can you imagine the fear? Oh, just let me throw it in there. Your worst enemy that has done the most harm to you, the very worst,
Yeah.
and needing to go sit on a bench in a park next to this person again. All of that buildup of fear or anger or hurt or mistrust or whatever it is. You're going to sit next to this person and you can feel it in your chakra system if you're doing it right. That love that she's talking about needs to be big enough where you can. And that's what we're talking about. Love is the answer enough to face your inner gut fear and go sit down next to this person. Not rip their head off.
Yep.
Not pick them up and throw them in the lake.
Not be defensive if you
Not
know
be
you did something
defensive.
wrong. No
To keep
skirting
yourself in
responsibility.
character. No performance.
Right.
Not vulnerability, but openness. Love. She's right. And that's what this is doing right now. Some people won't have that kind of they won't have that, what would you say it? That tool. So she's right. Some people may take it too far or not take it far enough and complete karmic cycles. I mean, Neptune and Saturn, Aries, fresh, zero,
Yeah.
reset.
And with those retrogrades and these outer planets being retrograde and they went back into the final sign, if you don't know it, look up 29 degrees Pisces, fixed star sheet. I think it's SCHEAT. I might be off in the spelling. Look it up. Look at the definition. It's not the prettiest. It talks about a lot of self-undoing. And then one other little tidbit would be to think of Jupiter, the planet of abundance, the one that loves to party and have all the holidays, and one too many and is never enough, just more, 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 more.
Yeah.
Being in fourth house, being in Cancer, retrograde. Between that part of the trines are not always benefic. Yes, it's an easy flow of energy. However, it can easily be that wingman that goes, yeah, buddy, one more. No problem.
Yeah.
You can handle it. You've got this. Oh, yeah, you can drive home. Oh, yeah, No, please realize that that is an energy of a too much that can go wrong real quick. So we love you all and we don't want that to be you. So if you do find yourself wanting to escape, no, get out and find yourself a damn peacock. Go find some love.
Yeah, whatever it is, I think
Whatever it
Jupiter is
is.
helping us to get there.
Yeah.
Get there.
Yeah.
But now we're going to do the tarot card, aren't we?
Do the brave thing. Yeah. We're going to
Do
move
the
forward.
brave thing. We'll be right.
I feel bad because I interrupted all your little typing that you were doing. You were showing something.
No, you're fine. Aries, Mars in Sagittarius is pressing on your ninth house, but the real tension comes from Saturn in Pisces. It's forcing you to slow down and test whether your big ideas have structure. Mercury in retrograde in Scorpio drags you back into power struggles, especially financial or intimate ones. The solve? Don't just chase expansion. Anchor it in discipline or you'll burn out before the finish line. Taurus. Venus in Scorpio is pulling your values into deep water, while Uranus retrograde in your sign keeps shaking the ground beneath you. The clash is between what you want to hold and what refuses to stay put. Mars in Sagittarius is stirring shared resources, debts, inheritances, contracts. The key? Stop resisting the shakeup. The cracks are showing you where freedom lives. Gemini. Mars in Sagittarius is opposing you directly, and Neptune, retrograde in Pisces, muddies your career waters. You're being asked to confront illusions about what success looks like. Mercury retrograde in Scorpio drags up old work routines or health habits that need reprocessing. The solve? Don't scatter. Choose one battle, one truth, and fight clean. Cancer. Jupiter retrograde in your sign is the quiet teacher, asking you to revisit how you grow emotionally. Mars in Sagittarius is pushing your sixth house, stirring health and service obligations. Venus in Scorpio wants depth in romance, but Saturn in Pisces says, check your beliefs before you leap. Growth isn't about more, it's about better. Leo. Mars in Sagittarius fires up your creative sector, but Venus in Scorpio drags your home life into intensity. Mercury retrograde is stirring old family conversations you thought were settled. Saturn in Pisces squares your trust issues. Don't perform for applause. Create for truth, even if it rattles the cage. Virgo. Mercury retrograde in Scorpio is forcing you to revisit communication patterns, especially the ones that cut too sharp or stay too silent. Mars in Sagittarius stirs tension at home, while Neptune retrograde in Pisces blurs boundaries and partnerships. Stop trying to edit the story. Say it plain and let the chips fall. Libra. Venus in Scorpio is pulling you into financial truths. What you value, what you spend, what you hide. Mars in Sagittarius pushes your voice forward, but Mercury retrograde demands you revise the script. Saturn in Pisces says, check your routines before you promise more. Don't sugarcoat. Honesty is the bridge this week. Scorpio. With Sun, Mercury retrograde, and Venus in your sign, the spotlight is unavoidable. Uranus, opposite you, shakes partnerships, while Mars in Sagittarius tempts reckless spending or self-worth shortcuts. Saturn in Pisces says, ground your creativity in discipline. Don't react. Respond from the version of you that's already transformed. Sagittarius. Happy birthday! Mars in your sign is raw fuel, but Neptune retrograde in Pisces is fogging your foundations. Mercury retrograde in Scorpio drags you inward, forcing you to face subconscious patterns. Venus says solitude has value. Don't run. Sit with the discomfort. The real adventure is inside. Capricorn. Venus in Scorpio highlights friendships, but Mercury retrograde drags up old alliances and unfinished business. Mars in Sagittarius stirs your hidden world, while Saturn in Pisces demands clarity and communication. Don't just build networks this week. Audit them. Who's really in your corner? Aquarius. Pluto in your sign is the long-term transformation, but Venus in Scorpio squares your public image. Mars in Sagittarius pushes you socially, while Mercury retrograde asks you to rethink your career path. Influence fades. Impact lasts. Choose the one that matters. Pisces, Neptune retrograde in your sign strips illusions, while Saturn nearby forces accountability. Mars in Sagittarius pushes career moves, but Mercury retrograde in Scorpio asks you to revise your beliefs. Don't chase the dream blindly, test it. If it holds under pressure, it's worth keeping. So our tarot card for the week is the Hanged Man by the In Between Tarot by Janine Worthington. And
Oh, I
I'm
like
going to
the
go
in
ahead
between.
and read.
I like the in between deck. Don't they have like the regular version, then the in between version, and the after version for this author?
I think so.
It's pretty
I
cool.
think so. It says impasse, reflection, transformation, resurrection. It's the in between concept and the release of the ego. So, setting the scene, the fool or the hangman is now hillside at nighttime and surrounded by a jeering crowd. He has been entrapped in the base of a wicker man structure, which has been set alight by the onlookers. Whether for right or wrong, the decision to try the fool as a criminal has been made, and the crowd are now intent on sending him up to the gods as a human sacrifice. So the symbology with the card, moving through the hanged man and onwards to the death card, the fire shown in this card represents the death process and the transformational energy of this element. The wicker man represents the ego in this picture and the fact that it is being stripped away. With the loss of the ego comes emotional vulnerability and a new way of seeing things. There are butterflies which are flying around the fool's feet, indicating the transformational nature of the situation. Just as butterflies have emerged from the chrysalis stage, so will the fool. The in-between concept, when this in-between concept presents itself, we feel that we have gone from a period of stillness and uncertainty and are moving into a cleansing change process. It will feel like a weight has been lifted from our shoulders and that it has taken a long time to be realized. We now have a clear vision of what will happen going forward, albeit painful and complicated. At least there is now a feeling of approaching a state of closure. There is an element here of giving in to what is happening to us. We are accepting the inevitable and allowing ourselves to greet our fate. That kind
Wow.
of fits.
Yeah, the first thing I did notice was the butterflies at his foot. Um, that Wicker Man interpretation, that I don't know if y'all have read that book or seen that movie, but that is what, M. Night Shyamalan. Like
Yeah, M. Night
that's
Shyamalan.
that did a movie off of that. And what was bringing me there was that in the movie, it was like a, a commune almost of people that all believed a certain thing, and in a certain way of life. And in a way it kind of reminds me of like the Amish, how they are completely separated, but they're still very much in the middle of the real world, but you don't see them venture out very often unless it's like on their horse and buggy, the no electricity, the all that stuff. But it brought me back to that Pisces, like almost being in between the worlds, like thinking something is always this way, but really it's never been that way. It's there's a whole nother world outside of your little commune. And yeah, that's just such a unique interpretation, and the blending of that in between, considering the next card is what, 13, the death card, right?
Yeah.
And having the fire and the butterflies integrated, and that surrender of the Pisces, like that was a beautiful interpretation.
in my tarot course and the way that I have it laid out, the first 11 cards, yeah, belong to the world of the material. And when you get to, when you pass the Justice card and you get the green to go, the Hangman is the next card. And I like how this is probably one of the first books that I've seen portrayed in this way, this fire down here at the bottom. And the first part I thought was this fire is coming from this person's root chakra and their sacral chakra.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the places of creation. Like that.
Yeah.
So the way that the book kind of describes it, I could agree with a lot of it, because I was thinking about it today, actually. And you know, the 12th house does have a tricky position to the 5th house. It's the first inconjunct. So this is, are you willing or are you not willing card. However, I would also add, because of my tarot course, that the Hangman to me also represents the space between the material world's black and white.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if we had a business contract, if we had even a marriage contract in some cases, the black and white of the script, the order that comes down, it's very workable in the material world. What's tragically undermined and often thrown out the window first, because if I can't solve it, then I'm going to chuck it, tends to be an answer sometimes. In the relationship world, we begin to understand wisdom and ethics. And that ethical stand, it's sort of like you have to look at every situation individually according to the measures of what you see around you. Because this is a card ruled by Pisces, which is also ruled by compassion. You know, it's this moment here where you're taking a knee and you're looking at the wicker basket and what you've burned down before. And, you know, the whole point of the card is to observe and to watch. It's not a time to talk. It's a time to shut up. Is this something you can do? Is this something you want to do and you're scared to try? You know, I look at life and I think of all the different ways I could learn something. Anything. What do I not know yet? And if I walked up on it, would I have curiosity about it and want to take a look around like you're buying another car? You don't just jump in there and do. You consider, and sometimes it's scary, and sometimes you're so excited, but you're nervous. That's my piece. Are you talking? Because we can't hear you.
My bad. Yeah. I'm looking at it and seeing all the elemental part of it, right? So the Pisces Hanged Man card is a water sign, right? And what you see with the butterflies is the earth and the air. What you see with if you hear my cat, Luna's not very happy right now. She wants some attention. But so the fire, right? The fire is there. The earth, the timber, the wicker itself is so combustible, right? Give me just a quick second here. I'm sorry.
You gotta go catch the cat.
I have to open a door for her.
That's so cute.
There, I got it. It was fast. She just wanted in the other room where her sister's at, and her sister's in heat, so I had to get her in the other room too, so she's not
17th time.
doing her thing. But anyways, back to what we were talking about. So I look at this, and I look at the archetype of Pisces, and I think about how it talked about sacrifice, right? And how, one of the things about Pisces energy is it could be consider itself like the sacrificial lamb, like the sacrifice, Virgo service, Pisces is the sacrifice, but it's like over dramatizing it to the point to where, hey, we're gonna do it in this highly combustible state, and let's put the ring of fire there, like to where there's no water. I'm the water. What, like what do I feel? How can I transmute this? And so like I was just seeing all the elemental part of it and thinking that it was just absolutely beautiful, that the only when you're in that suspended state of surrender and sacrifice, you have to go to a holy space within your water, we're like 70% water as humans, yeah, he's got a blue shirt, but that's about the only thing I see depicting any kind of water, is actually the embodiment of the Pisces. So I think that's incredibly interesting, but it definitely speaks to that in between worlds thing. And I absolutely love that. And it speaks to kind of all the energy that we're currently dealing with in the transits. So
It's a pretty good card to have. The mystery of not knowing how it'll turn out is usually gray to me.
yeah.
The color gray. And there's gray all behind this dude. I don't know how, even his stockings are gray. I don't know if I walk this way, what will happen. But the fire is going to eat this thing up around me if I don't try, or if if I have to make a different choice and go a different way. Scared about the unknowns.
Well, the ability to break free is very there, His hands are behind his back, but it looks like barely even his foot is suspended by butterflies. So at any second he could cut himself free, but he's definitely got to
Yeah.
go within.
His crown chakra is pointing at the fire.
Mm-hmm.
So whether he's watching a room and he's starting to put the pieces together and he's getting hot, or if he's finding creative motivation and inspiration.
Oh yeah. Can't forget that part.
Yeah. And the butterflies are the dreams in his head, floating around like thoughts.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that one.
You're welcome. Mm-hmm. So let's go over here.
Show me what you got.
This is terrible. Oh, before I stopped that, I wanted to show you guys this, which is utterly disgusting, but it is what it is.
I thought about it, but I was like, the foot tongue thing? Yeah. That's pretty Pisces.
Yeah. Okay. So hang on real quick. Go back to the card. Okay. And look how he's hanging down from the esophagus, because we know the card's about communication because he's wearing a blue shirt.
Yeah.
And his crown chakra is being fed this, all the way down. So esophagus is holding on to his foot. He's in a straight line all the way up the right hip to his crown chakra.
The Wickerman's esophagus.
Yeah, okay, esophagus. Yeah. Yes. The Wickerman's esophagus all the way down to his own crown chakra in the reverse. Well, this came to me today. Did you know that the tongue and toes are connected? Literally, the tongue and the toes are connected. I did not know this.
I had no clue.
Tongue goes all the way down to your toes. It all connects. Like, okay, that's new and special. I even saw further down this gory list of pictures that there are tongue exercises that you can do to correct the posture in your neck from hurting. I was like, what? Yeah, and it said something about like, when your tongue is at the top of your roof and it's resting,
Yeah.
like right before you go to sleep, and the whole muscle is relaxed. It said that it opens up your airways even larger because if
Mhm.
your tongue is resting down, it's like drinking out of a straw with a hole in it. I was like, you mean to tell me this whole time I've been doing it wrong?
Look at AI looking at hearing me talking about an umbilical cord Sabian symbol, and now it's talking about.
Right?
See what advertisement we get.
Man, your tongue is part of the deep frontline fascia, which runs down the center of your body. If you have a tongue tie and any myofunctional disorders, it has a domino effect from the top of your body down. So if I stutter, my toes will wiggle. Anyway,
Whoa.
I just thought that was important
It's
before we head up
incredibly
here.
insightful. I had no clue.
I had no clue. So,
So, as promised, we're going to give you guys a chance to vote on which tarot deck we interpret next week. Starting here, we'll have you just put the number of the deck that you choose to cast your vote, comment on this video, and we'll go through and tally them up, and that'll be on our next episode of Real World Astrology for the card interpretation. So, starting with number 1, I have the Morgan Greer Tarot deck. Let me see if you can see that. Sorry about the coloring, but it's very beautiful and old deck. And then I have the Victorian Romantic Tarot right here. If I can get you. I don't know if it'll show up. I'll just hold them side by side and you can see them hopefully. But so this one's number 1 for Morgan Greer, okay? And this one's number 2. I'll just hold it in front of me for the Victorian Romantic Tarot. And the cards are gorgeous in this deck. So number 2.
for number 3, we have the Tree Tarot, and so many people love this deck. It's by Dana O'Driscoll. Dana O'Driscoll, and that's number 3. Number 4 is the Wild Unknown Tarot by Kim Kranz. The Wild Unknown. So we have 1, Morgan Greer Tarot, 2, the Victorian Tarot.
Yep.
The Victorian Romantic Tarot. Sorry about that. 3, the Tree Tarot, or 4, the Wild Unknown Tarot. You let us know in the comments. Go ahead and just put 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll let you know in our next episode of Real World Astrology. Let's go to actually this one. We're going to start with this one. Experts believe, let me see if I can't fix this. Experts believe that Jesus may have used cannabis oil to perform his miracles. Now, I did not know this, but 2,000 years ago, cannabis was well distributed, and people did use it for oil and for smoking and for all sorts of things 2,000 years ago. And so this article is speaking that, a lot of Jesus's miracles of healing people could have very well been attributed to using cannabis oil.
That's
That
awesome.
changes the whole.
What does that statement say above
Which
that?
one? If cannabis was one of the main ingredients of the ancient anointing oil, and receiving this oil is what made Jesus the Christ and his followers Christians, then persecuting those who use cannabis could be considered antichrist.
Just saying.
Just saying. Okay? So all these people up in Washington who are trying to push that through to take away the gummies with the THC in it, y'all need to talk with Jesus.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, really, how else do you think us people deal with all your guys' craziness?
Oh my God. Jesus and his apostles might have used cannabis oil to perform his healing miracles, a controversial theory that is being championed by a number of experts. Author David Beinenstock, who is also the editor-in-chief of High Times magazine, believes that cannabis was widely available during Jesus's era 2,000 years ago. He also believes that cannabis was used all across the Middle East to treat various illnesses and ailments. In an interview with the Daily Star Online, Beinenstock said, "There is nothing different in the efficacious cannabis oil used today that wouldn't have been available to people in Jesus's time. It's simply a matter of concentrating the cannabis into the oil and absorbing it through the skin."
Yeah. Tinctures that you can rub
Look,
on.
scholars have pointed to a specific text from the Bible to support this theory. They claim that a recipe for Jesus's holy anointing oil, Exodus 30, verses 22 to 25, actually contains cannabis.
Whoa.
It says, "Take the following fine spices, 500
Fine, mighty
shekels
fine.
of liquid myrrh, half as much of fragrant cinnamon, 250 shekels of Canae balsam, 500 shekels of cassia, all according to the sanctuary shekel, and a hind of olive oil. Make these into a sacred anointing oil, a fragrant blend, the work of a perfumer. It will be the sacred anointing oil." In that Bible passage, there's a mysterious herb mentioned, cayenne balsam, that is now commonly identified as cannabis. And some historians have reason to believe that this herb was, in fact, cannabis.
Very cool. Very cool. Looking at, so that's a big water trine right there. Thinking about Neptune and Pisces. That's
And a retrograde.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that was a lot of
Like a
Neptune
big one.
and Pisces had to do with experimentation like
Oh my
that.
God.
Interesting.
Okay, there's a great picture there. All right, moving
Check
on.
her out. That's
Okay,
like the Cheech
I
and
thought you'd
Chong
like this one.
style, the gigantic one.
So, archaeologists claims discovery of lost Atlantis off Spain's coast. This is given to us by the Greek reporter by Nisha Zahid. So, apparently, they feel that they found Atlantis under the waters there next to Greece. I think I was okay. Donnellan discussed his research in an interview highlighted on the Joe Rogan Experience, where independent researcher Ben Van Quirkick introduced the claims. Rogan appeared stunned by the discussion and noted that Donnellan's discoveries are being documented for wider release. Here's the picture. And I watched this interview that was going on with this guy, and he said the sediment that has rested on top of these building structures are
Yeah.
about up to 30 meters deep. So they would have to, like you would excavate bones on land that are
Right.
under the ground. He's going to go down there and start clearing all the sediment away to look at the building structure underneath, because he thinks it's Atlantis.
Right off of Spain, huh?
Yeah,
Could
they're
be.
saying it's like 11,500 years old.
Interesting.
Interesting.
That's that, you know what? All that underneath that story itself is very kind of scorpionic if you're going to unearth something.
Yes.
And then you've got the Pisces with being in the ocean to begin with, but something that a society that was completely like wiped out and dissolved. What do
I
you
got
got?
it.
What do you got?
Saturn.
Saturn. Sitting right there.
Neptune. Saturn.
Yeah, Pisces, Saturn, Neptune.
Saturn is infrastructure.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
The sediment would be Uranus. Scorpio would be in the deep of sediment. Sediment is, yes, it is dirt down there, sure, but it's also the droppings of every fish that has ever swam by there, every stingray, every shark. you name it, the crustaceans down there that die and their shells begin to dissolve. It's all detritus. And you want to dig in that? That's poo. That's Scorpio.
That's Scorpio. Don't take offense, Scorpio. It literally
Dude
is
wants to
part
go
of
down
the
there digging in the poo.
astrological makeup. But yeah, that's, they all say that they think that they have found it, and I go for it. It's incredible. I love that I'm sitting here just thinking, oh man, there's an asteroid Atlantis. And you can,
There is. You
I'm an
should put it in the
asteroid
chart and
nerd.
tell us.
And see, what it's kind of like, astrology just blows my mind. So I mean, that says it's back from like July of this year, but still, like that picture was.
Now I'm
But
curious.
the fact that you synchronistically came across it today with the transits,
Well,
you
I
got all
gotta put
kinds of
in
others
Atlantis
asteroids in there.
because
Oh, I see you got karma up in there. Y'all, so astrology, as we're showing you these news articles and stuff, we try to relate them in a way that will show you that there is always a correlation to the astrological transits that are happening to what becomes relevant in the world, like what people start talking about, right? Same thing goes for asteroids. Like you can see all the names that she has up there. Look, there's Astro Wizard. Amazing, like, but there's an asteroid for just about everything. And those act as little story fillers or fill-ins. It kind of tells you, because you can watch them transit and it never seems to fail, that if something pops up and you start hearing everybody saying this specific word, you can look it up and it's like very prominent on, your sun or your Mercury or something like that. Um, but
sometimes
yeah,
you
we
can
love
find your
the,
own name
yeah, named
and you're
asteroids. There's
like,
an asteroid
oh my
Heather. There's
God,
an
that's where
asteroid
I'm
Miriam.
at in my own chart. So
You're at the
cute.
chart of the moment.
Yeah, but I want to see where it's at. Proserpina, Lilith, Atropus, Midas, Phaethon.
It didn't put it in the
Wait.
chart of the moment. You probably have to pull up like your natal chart.
No, I probably have to do that save your settings thing.
Oh, yeah, good point.
That phase.
Yeah, so get a little lesson on how to play with the astro.com.
What is that? I'm just going to start deleting because I want them to see this.
Okay.
If in
1198 Atlantis.
Atlantis.
You have a
All right.
conjunct your ascendant.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Is it? I've not looked up the definition of Atlantis. But
Yeah, so the way that we play is we'll take those points of the planet, of the asteroid, whatever, and round it up. Look up the Sabian for that. And you think about Atlantis being like, I don't know. I think it was like the gods, like the creme de la creme of the gods back in the day, and of course they were mystical and they were high tech for the time, and then they just got wiped off the map, just gone. And where'd they go? Where are all their creations? And you can find that part within your own psyche or your own life, like where you have it. I think mine is over in the 6th house. Okay.
All right. So this is the chart of the moment. And Atlantis is at 22 degrees of
Ooh.
Sag. Now we have a whole bunch of other planets in that last decan.
Oh,
Jupiter, Uranus, Chiron,
everything's
Neptune,
yeah.
Saturn, and what? The sun,
Yeah.
the moon, Mercury, Lilith.
Yeah,
and
everything
let's
that
just
the end deacons of signs, just about, or the very, very beginning, and their story's ending.
That's where I go. What would Amba do in this moment?
I'm looking at the castle. So you see that envelope?
Yeah.
There's just an envelope.
Yeah.
That's actually a placement called either the envelope, the double kite, or the seer, SEER.
Mm.
And it's kind of like the embodiment of a home. You notice how it's pointing all the way up to Sirius, Sirius and Neptune being that midpoint up there. And that's basically talking about the pinnacle, the tip of what you're protecting and embodying all within that sphere. So that mystic rectangle between Pluto, Uranus, Jupiter, and the
Whoa.
sun.
All right. Let me put an idea in your head.
You
We
go,
learned
baby, go.
that statement this week from Kaylee. Thank you, Kaylee, very much.
Oh, remind me.
Remember she called and she was like, I told my boss, let me put an idea in your head.
Yeah, 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 I do
And it was
remember.
like, oh my God, that's so brilliant. Okay, so let's do the degree theory thing, right?
Hmm.
So first decan Scorpio. I'm in Scorpio down here. First decan Scorpio, second Pisces, third Cancer. What are
10
we
degrees, 10 degrees.
producing in Cancer? The sun, the moon. Oh, you got to jump over here to Cancer. Start at the top. The first decan is Cancer. The second one is Scorpio. The third one is Pisces.
Hmm.
So this is where we're grabbing from Pisces to feed the moon. So Jupiter kicks it to Saturn. Uh-oh, another water sign. Let's start at the top. The first decan is Pisces, the second decan is Cancer, and the third decan is Scorpio. That means that Neptune with a Scorpio degree right there in the last decan, it's Scorpio at 29. Hold on, I actually have it right here in front of my face. At 29, it's a Leo energy, which is the sun. That 29 is a Leo degree in a Scorpio decan in a Pisces. Do you see what I'm doing?
I
So
do.
the moon is Cancer energy. Jupiter is Pisces energy. So we're pulling from Pisces through a Scorpio Leo hot mess. So the ego is involved. But Neptune and Scorpio, that's about power.
Yeah.
It's about being the power for the other person that they cannot be for themselves.
On a higher level, yes,
On
very
a
much
on a
so.
higher level, yeah. If you don't know yet, let's say that you have Neptune and Scorpio, if you have Pisces over the 8th house, let's say that you don't know whether you should touch something or whether you shouldn't touch something. Usually, the stuff that you're supposed to touch are those cases that come to you. That's usually how spiritual gifts work. They have to come to you. If you try to reach out with your own self, I want. All right. Scorpio is about desire. Pisces is about surrendering that desire.
And that lower vibe would be almost a grandiose sense of entitlement
Yes, I want a grandiose sense of entitlement.
with that Leo deacon
Exactly. The Leo degree. Yeah.
degree. Yeah.
And the moon and the sun are like, hey, waiter, over here. Feed me.
I want over in
And
Scorpio.
Cancer
I
energy
want.
would do that. The inner urge. I want. I want. That's why Mal is in heat.
Oh, that girl.
Oh my goodness.
So Atlantis right now, I'm just looking at that and
15.
it's not
Yeah, the
really
22.
aspecting anything per se.
Chiron.
But yeah, I guess it is over to Chiron.
That's a trine.
But
That's tight. That's a trine.
yeah, yeah.
So what? Sagittarius, right? And then Aries, and then Leo. It's a Leo degrees. All right, it's a Leo degree with a
No, it's a Capricorn degree.
no, I thought it was
22.
in Sag.
22 is a Capricorn degree, though. It may be in Sag, but 22 degrees Atlantis as of
No,
this
no, you're
moment
right. It's a
today.
Capricorn. It's a
Yeah.
Capricorn degree. It's in a Leo decan.
Yes. Oh, no, we were talking. Oh, okay. Yeah, we got that. So it's just a bunch of mutual reception happening right there with some of the stuff.
But
And
just
keep in mind, Sag is higher learning, Sag is far distance travel, it is history, like
history,
it's ancient knowledge and all that stuff.
knowledge,
Interesting that it comes into our radar today.
Atlantis. Okay, so I know squirrel, right? Squirrel,
We're all about squirrels. Hang with us. Our squirrels are
squirrel,
fun.
squirrel. This is the website I go to, markandrewholmes.com. He has this amazing asteroid list. I've been using this for years. Um, and sometimes when I have the ability, I will kick some money his way to help support keeping up the website because I know that cost. Atlantis at I just did all this praise for Mark. Good old Mark.
And he doesn't have
And
Atlantis.
he doesn't have Atlantis. All right.
Mark!
That's, I got totally off course. Let me get on back. Jesus liked
Reel you back in,
cannabis,
babe.
and now we have possible Atlantis off the coast of Greece. All right. This was cool, and I got this for all the fellow nerds out there. I'm Lakalam. The world's smallest pixels are here, and they might change screens forever. Meet retina matching displays. Now, I want you to look at this picture if you can. If you're driving, please look at the road.
I see
They
that.
have found a way to create pixelation screens that can go on your phone, that you can make televisions out of. And the pixelations on the screen are now small enough to fit right inside of your iris like that.
Yeah,
Isn't that something?
yeah.
Now,
It's insane, but so y'all, Heather is always about they've had this technology forever before it ever even comes to us, and so it's crazy. I know you got a VR headset.
I
Every
do.
digital screen
I
from your
do.
phone to your VR headset relies on pixels or picture elements.
Says
Hmm,
the smaller the pixels, the higher the resolution and the more lifelike the image. But there's a
right.
catch. Once you get to shrink a pixel, you can only shrink it so much, and the light begins to scatter and the colors begin to blur. And the pixel can barely emit enough light to be seen, right? So conventional micro LED displays have hit that wall. Even the smallest ones with pixels are still thousands of times larger than what the human eye could theoretically resolve. Okay, so let me break it down. That tiny little screen right there, what they've done is shrunk the pixels and allowed the outer light spectrum, Uranus.
Yeah,
Yes.
Aquarius.
They're going to allow, well, it allows, not they, but they've discovered that the light will bounce off the tiny little pixels that have no color into your eyeball, and your eyeball will place the color there.
Whoa.
That's why I pulled it up. I was like, dude. And yes, you're absolutely right. AR lenses, when paired with solar cells, the paper out, it is paper, by the way. It's not like plastic or anything.
I'm
It's
thinking about that one too many times. I dropped one too many pieces of paper on my tongue, and the air was all those colorful pixels.
oh, you've done it before with your gift.
No, I wasn't going there. I was going a little psychedelic with it.
Oh, never
But
mind. I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know, but I know. Some of you all listening know. Bird's the word.
Bird's the word. Okay. I'm walking off a cliff. The findings appeared in the journal Nature. I need to let you guys know that as well. So I thought that was pretty cool that
That
technology
is.
is taking us that far, and that our own individual Chiron and Aries eyeballs, part of the Aries head, first house, will be. I mean, look, I'll see if I can't zoom in.
It
See the
is
little
very Aries, and
paper?
what's interesting too is Aries, just so that some of you don't know, is eyesight, is Aries. So a lot of people that are Aries suns or Aries risings end up having to have like reading glasses or contacts or bifocals. That's one of the things that tends to be strained with Aries. Oh,
See the
astrological
gray and
fact.
white,
Yeah.
and it's tiny, and they put it there, and then your eyeballs will automatically, like on your cell phone, your eyeballs will automatically just go do 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 do. And I'm like, who made that? I didn't know that
It's
was something we could do.
That's so incredible. It makes me think of a couple things. Like, have you guys seen any of those videos like on TikTok or, Instagram reels that are of people who were colorblind getting those new glasses that they can
Yeah.
see the color for the first. I'm such a baby. I cry every time I
No,
watch
you're not.
those.
I saw
Seeing
that
grown
article right
adults,
below it.
yeah, being able to see all the colors, but the technology, that's insane.
Right
What's that?
here.
Looks like little QR codes you put in your eyeball.
Look, legally blind patients can now read again
Yeah,
thanks to tiny wireless eye implants.
yeah. Uranus and
What they
Gemini. What
discovered?
was the date of
Uranus and
that?
Gemini.
What was the
Or
date of
Pluto.
that?
Yeah, Uranus and Gemini. Um, the date was October 21st, 2025 in Health News.
When
Hi,
Uranus was
Tibby
still in
Pew.
Gemini.
When Uranus was still in Gemini.
Yeah, just so you know, people, it's going to come out of Taurus and go back into Gemini. And between that and Pluto, I think between that and Pluto and Aquarius, we're going to have all kinds of new, Neptune too, and Aries and Saturn. We're going to have all kinds of crazy, like breakthrough medical inventions that are
Yeah,
going to be mind blowing.
I'm all for it. I
I
watch
am
this
all for
stuff.
cures if they actually should give us the cures,
Look at this. This is
I
tiny little retina.
neck compared to a penny.
A
Wow.
prosthetic retina next to a penny for comparison. It is as small as a pencil point and as thin as a piece of plastic wrap, and people
Hmm.
will be able to see.
Wow.
I know, peacocks in the backyard, tiny little iris pupil retina things.
That's
What do we
insane.
got? What
Ugh.
more can I take today? Thank you. Thank you. Okay,
Oh, it's
let's go to the next
beautiful.
one.
Yeah, see you in
Okay,
the future.
let's go to this one. And I'll pull up the article. This is from funnytimes.com. The author of Funny Times, October 6, 2025. Where'd it go? Oh, yes. In a new twist on Ding Dong Ditch, German authorities have identified the culprit of late night doorbell rings in Schwabach, Bavaria, United Press International reported on September 9th. Police were called to an apartment building where several residents complained of the unexpected doorbells, but they couldn't see anyone on their front door cameras. They suspected that kids were pranking them, but authorities discovered that a slug was crawling across a panel and triggering several doorbells in the process. Officers relocated the slug and declined to press charges.
Was he charged with assault?
Assault. A song.
That's
That's a
a
dad joke. It's a
salt.
good one.
Yeah. Hey, there were
I
slugs back home in
love it.
Kansas. I remember slugs.
I love
Wow.
it. Okay, okay. We've already used the word snake in the translation of the chart, right?
Yep.
All right, get ready for this one because this one's just no. I don't even
Advertisements.
know. Posted on November 8th, 2025 by Strange Days, tour guide survives after python wraps, then drags him underwater. And I want to know who was standing there taking pictures of this.
Right?
I mean, that's my first thought. Like,
The guy that's up on
dude,
that hanged man card and
oh, kind of past life or whatever. Look at this
just watching it
giant
happen.
python attack. Take a
Wow.
picture while I get this off his neck. I'm
Oh
like,
my goodness. Indonesia.
yes.
As an experienced snake handler and tour guide was navigating a river with a group near the island's dense jungle. According to video footage, heroes spotted the large snake near the riverbank and reached into the water to grab it near the head. Moments later, the python dragged him off the boat and into the murky water. Wow. As he resurfaced, the python began wrapping and constricting around his torso, quickly tightening around his arms and neck. Crew members on the boat immediately intervened, one with a camera, evidently, and with two men wrestling the snake, one grabbing its head and the other grabbing its tail. Luckily, although it was scary, Hero was not injured. They subdued the
Oh,
python.
sorry.
All right.
Yeah, but I bet he was scared to death,
Well, I bet he won't do that again.
right?
Don't
Like
go digging your hand. And this reminds me of those people that go noodling, for catfish, and they stick their hands up under,
oh yeah, the noodling,
and the
the
catfish
noodling.
have that claw thing that could cut them real easy.
Yeah.
Don't go sticking your hands in murky water filled
It
with
was like one of
python.
my first, I think it was my third or fourth job, you know, as washing dishes at the Denny's up the street. So I'd walk to work,
Yeah,
and I worked the graveyard shift where people came out of the barn and puked all over the. So it was my job to go into the bathroom and clean it and stuff. Well,
fun
I got
times.
the job, and the first day, all the dishes, people eating in the restaurant, right? And I'm like looking at the dishes, going, my first, people put their mouths on these forks and on
As
the
a
stuff.
Virgo,
And my
how did you
boss
do
came up
that?
over my right shoulder and he goes, just stick your hands in it.
No.
And I look at this picture and I go, no.
Y'all
No,
be
just
careful
stick
where
your
you're
hands in
sticking
it.
your hands.
Just, you know, grab the snake and pull it off my neck. I mean, I looked at it. My first thought was, I know there's a lot of snake lovers and stuff, but with a military background, my first thought would be, chop its head off.
Yeah, my thought on it is kind of like, I understand that maybe that might be a primary way that they, like get around, but probably don't be going on a tour out in the middle of a swampy area full of pythons
And it
in the
looks
middle
like
of the
it's
night.
nighttime,
Like, what are
right?
you doing reaching into the water? Oh,
Yeah, just
he
stick your hands in it. Who said it was a
yeah,
good time to be on
FAFO,
a boat?
man.
Should have known better.
FAFO for sure.
Where was that snake reference we made? Because that was like
It
you
was the
said
Sabian
snake,
symbol.
and I was like,
Yeah, it was the Sabian symbol for,
"Hey."
oh no, it was the Chandra.
It was the Chandra.
Yeah, for Uranus right now. Snakes at rest on a rock in the sun. Yep. Living
Not
in
this one.
retrospect, I bet he does. I bet he's grateful
This
for every
one.
day he's alive now.
I know. He's like, I need to go home and put my arms around my mom and tell her I love her. Get a new job. Get a new job.
That's horrible. By Strange Days, posted on November 8th, 2025 by Strange Days. You got it.
Strange days. I bet. Yeah.
Bizarre, bizarre for
No way,
sure.
dude. No. So I think we're going to move over and read the chart for our lovely volunteer from the Patreon channel. Her name is Jerry. And I had a lot of fun with this chart. And my method is evolutionary astrology. And I do throw in the Sabian symbols and the Hermetics and stuff. But I'll be able to explain to her the theme that her soul has been working lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And in my description of it, it's a lot like saying, I'm interested in food, you know, and I want to discover more about the relationship between humans and food, because one of the Dharma things that we must do after we clear our karma, we go to our Dharma, and that's giving our spiritual gift in service to others. And at that point, it's being able to pull from your South Node all of these other lifetimes of learning about food and all the different ways to serve it, the different cultures, the different spices, all the different things, from purchasing it to inspecting it to hauling it to selling it. And the soul will go bardo after bardo after bardo, going after this particular theme. So we're going to step over and look at Jerry's chart and see what her soul's theme is. It's actually pretty cool. And I'll go ahead and give it to her and give some past life storylines that I can see in her
Forget
chart.
to join our Patreon channel if you want to get a chance at having your past lives and your life theme with Miriam.
Throw your name in the pile. Actually, to tell you the truth, since I lost that last email, the pile is very short right now. And it's very short right now, people. So if you threw your name in there for me to read your chart during a real world astrology episode, then I can do one for you. So join us on the Patreon channel, which the link is down below.
Enjoy.
Hi, Jerry, and thank you so much for allowing us to use your chart in this episode for Real World Astrology. My name is Miriam Kramer. I am an evolutionary astrologer, self-studied, and highly motivated. I won't go into all the ins and outs of it. I want to get to Jerry because her chart, to me, has, I guess you could say, an apropos placement in the world that we live today. She's in the second bardo. So this tells me that, this is the second time that she's trying this out. And we don't know, in any one bardo, you could have, 1,000 lifetimes, and then the next bardo you could have 10. So it's never really a positive solid on how many lifetimes the soul has chosen to try this lesson out. But being in the second bardo, it definitely tells me that she graduated at least once, and her soul decided to shift and to move to the second stage of the plan. Her soul theme is cultivated receptivity, social refinement, and the art of observation. I look at this chart, and the first thing I'm picking up with Pluto in the 11th house, the South Node in the 11th house, Uranus and Jupiter. I mean, she's got a stellium. She's got a stellium in the 11th house right here. Pluto and South Node sitting here together as well. So it tells me that Mercury down here is the ruler of her Pluto placement. And her most recent past life, and some of the stuff that she accidentally drug in here, was that her Mercury sign was at fault. You could almost say Mercury sign was at fault here, and that's what's being corrected. It's what's being rebalanced. So if I get a teeter-totter like this, and let's say that I put Pluto on one end, the weight of Pluto would drop that teeter-totter to the ground like that. So we need to apply pressure to the other side of the teeter-totter so that we can create some balance and get it back to here as much as possible. So Virgo being over the 11th house tells me that her Mercury down here in the 3rd house created a little bit of a problem there. Wherever Pluto is, there are many, 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 like if she did 1,000 lifetimes, you know what I mean? And this particular hang up that got her here was down here in the pile of psychological layers of trying the same action. It's like a monkey pushing a button, okay? The monkey pushes the wrong button, no grape. The monkey pushes the right button, oh my God, there's grapes, right? So she would have done this Mercury action all these different times with success, She relies on it. She depends on it. Psychologically, it just makes sense to her. Her soul says, I've done this 999 times with success. And that one time that got me created imbalance. Because she obviously had done it so many times, the monkey didn't change after 999 times of hitting the right button. And that's sort of where the Pluto placement that's how it exists in the chart. It says there are many layers of psychological go-to that make sense to Jerry. And to her, that's Virgo in the 11th with Pluto sitting there. Now, it does also show that she's repeating a majority of her most recent past life, a majority of it. She's got to do the retrograde thing. And we also see that her Pluto here is retrograde as well. The first position is Pluto conjunct the South Node. That tells me that she is on a repetitive life cycle from her last lifetime. The retrograde from Pluto tells me this is a specific action that was done and has been done. But looking at her chart, I definitely can see that she is very close right here. Like Chiron is sitting on top of her Saturn right now, poor thing. But she's very close to her second Saturn return. And by this time in the game, after living so many years of her life, I am praying to the Almighty that she got the lesson this time. She understood this time. Okay, so the South Node and the North Node here have unique signature as well. Pluto and the South Node back here, right? And then we go to the direct opposition and we have Chiron and the North Node on the other side. And what a mix. Let's add a little more pressure to everything and let's put it at 0 degrees, shall we? That is an initiatory degree with, it would be like the Fool card, 0 degrees, 41 minutes. That's where Chiron sits. And then 0 degrees, 44 minutes for her North Node. That is a 3-minute distance, 3 minutes. And that's it. They're sitting right on top of each other in the sky. That's pretty strong, you know? So being a special degree, being an initiatory degree, let's go ahead and just call those degrees Aries. Yes, let's call it the Fool card. Let's call it the jump that can get you into trouble. It's very quick. It's going to be very fast. For her to govern her responses would be a miracle at this point, would be a miracle at this point. There is hope in the fact that with the 0 degree placement, you know, she's not tried this tool before. So thankfully, we're handing her a new you know, toolbox. And we're saying, hey, you didn't get this part to grow last time, and it put you into some trouble. So let's give her a 0 degree mark that says, we're going to freshen up your space here. We're going to give you a different, brand new try at gaining some ground and getting this area of your soul to continue growing alongside the rest of it. When a portion of your soul begins to decline, and that decline gets worse and worse and worse each lifetime you come in, it's a lot like a tree that has not just a branch that doesn't grow leaves, it starts to wilt and decay, and there's a possibility of harming the rest of the tree. So this is a case where, for me, looking at her past lives and seeing the fact that there was something else here I wanted to add, the 0 degree mark also squares her Juno placement in Capricorn. Juno is in Capricorn, even though it looks kind of weird. Vesta is sitting right over that spot right now. And it's also squaring Plinius, if you know that asteroid. Plinius is asteroid number 3266, for those of you that would like to look that asteroid up. And it speaks a lot about this place that holds a history where data does not necessarily equal truth. This is an area in the chart that speaks about wisdom. Wisdom in looking at each case in front of you and applying wisdom. It's much different than truth. You know, you guys ever see those crazy laws in a lot of these states here in the United States? These are just crazy laws. Like, you are not allowed to walk a horse into a restaurant and take it into the restroom. We have crazy laws. They're laws. There may be truth to why the law needed to be put into place. It does not necessarily mean that it's wisdom. And that's what Plinius means. It's asteroid 3266. Her North Node is also close enough for me to influence the node, is Venus. And she sits here at 10 degrees, 52 minutes of Aries. There we go again. Let's jump. Let's be surprised. Let's be shocked. It is, squaring that Ceres placement that has karma attached to it. Ceres, karma, and psyche all attached together in a firm square there to the Venus placement. And so Mars in the first house with Neptune. This is that hazy, foggy place. If you have Neptune in the first house, you're not quite sure if what you see is true or not. It may also, especially in Scorpio, the shock that can come. There's grief here. There's shock with Scorpio, and the shock that's coming to her, the grief, the fire, the flame, the dynamite is affecting her first house, which is her body, her expressions, her face, showing just utter shock. Like, what just happened here? So this challenge position has to do with the fact that she actually cares. She cares quite a bit. She cares about the group that she's in. She cares about her friendships. She cares a tremendous amount about her extended relatives. She cares. She cares about the future. She cares about whether humans get fed or not. She's highly concerned that her friends have what they need. I love Uranus in Libra. I'm just going to call it Uranus in Libra right there. Anytime I see a Uranus in Libra, I know that I'm dealing with someone who's conventional in nature. And being in her 11th house, her rules for taking care of humans are very conventional. You could almost say that they're traditional in a sense, or may have been passed down to her from folks who were conventional, traditional. They abided by the social law. The social law. When Uranus, though, is presented in Libra, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt this person is meant to meet very strange, awkward, weird people. If conventional traditions in whatever past life she was in called for a certain decorum, a certain etiquette, if there were reputations that were higher and therefore more grand in nature, those would be falling under the conventional traditions. Uranus tells me, not today. And today you get to be with a bunch of weirdos. And you're supposed to hang out with these weirdos. You're supposed to love them. You're supposed to stare at them and watch them and see what they do and begin to feel that you would literally throw yourself in front of a train for these people. Absolutely, hands down. Because this is what happens with Jerry in the chart. In her most recent past life, her body was definitely in danger. Her head, her face is in shock. She's frozen with Neptune. She's standing there just frozen. And she probably didn't know what to do, okay? Because what I'm seeing with the Virgo and the Pisces axes here, in fact, her Meesters is there, that asteroid in her second house, and then Pallas is there as well. So she'll fight for these beliefs, she'll go to war for these beliefs. She believes that that belief structure is worth fighting for. So this is where I kind of step into the signature of trauma healing. And I have to use the past life story that I saw first to be able to speak the language. So the Pisces Virgo axis talks about service, where, you have a teacher or a student, you have a coach or the athlete, you have the doctor or the nurse, and then the hospital. It can also talk about, though, and I'm going to write this up here, it can talk about divisions in discrimination. And I'll show you what I mean right here. Okay. Divisions in discrimination. Because the first past life that I see, and now I'm going to start looking like a coach and scribbling all over the place. And you guys are going to be like, oh my God, she's like writing a bunch of lines. All right, this is what I think. Her son's in the fourth house. Pholus is there, which means that she was interrupted with something. She was doing something with a group down here in a normal way, in a normal capacity, okay? And her action with the group came from her inner self. Her inner feelings came out in an expression, okay, that was like, oh, surprise, shock, like what the heck just happened here? And we see that also by the first inconjunct that runs that Virgo there in a very tight inconjunct to her fourth house sun in Aquarius. Now, she jumps. She goes, oh my God, what's going on? But she identifies whoever these people are that burst down the doors. I personally think that she was perhaps a pastor or a priest in this past life. I think that she was giving a sermon. And then all of a sudden, you know, familiar to her, these soldiers of some kind bust down the door of the church. Boom, throw the doors open. Right? And they say, hey, everybody's got to go into the barn across the street because, you know, our enemies are coming. Our enemies are coming. And of course, her first instinct here is to Mars in the first house with Neptune. Oh my goodness, these soldiers are familiar to me. I'm on their side. I believe in their cause. You know, I've preached it behind the pulpit to my congregants over and over and over again, whether it was about Napoleon, whether it was about Caesar, whether it was about Rome or, you know, the Civil War, any Civil War, it really wouldn't have mattered. But I could see that this person was either the tribe chieftain, very well could have been doing that service to her group, a pastor or a priest, but there were like, she needed to have been in a leadership position where people trusted her and they would follow her. If she said something, they would jump. Okay. I also could see that there was some sort of belief system here that she agreed with wholeheartedly because she'd go to war. You know, part of her value system was standing up for whatever this thing was. There's a huge surprise, a huge shock. Come on, hurry up. Hustle everybody into this other building or even put them in the church or something. Everybody go to the church, ringing the bell. Everybody runs into the church, and the very soldiers that surprised her here, right? The very soldiers that saw the role that she was playing to the group. Chiron, Aries, we see you. We see you have pull. We see you have influence. Get everybody in the church. I think they burned the church down with, you know, whoever she was in a past life and the folks that she had in there. You know, she has placements here that sort of tell me with that Capricorn energy in Sirius that she had a voice that could command. She had a voice that could command, but her Venus square here to the series also tells me that she cares about protecting the people she's with tremendously. She cares about the injustice being done to her people, the injustice being done in her nation. Okay? She might have been extremely patriotic. And here she is, seeing, she's the first one to lift her head and see the soldiers coming, running. and saying our enemies are coming. I think they killed them all in a church, if I'm honest, or killed them in a place of gathering that was normal to the community. In this particular lifetime, you know, I think she's done this action where she has led a group many, many times, right? She's been in a position of authority many times, enough times to have built up a fixed presence here, a fixed presence in her world in some way. I don't know if they're a group of farmers, you know, they could have been anything. But she's the one that identifies the surprise coming. She's the one that has the intention of helping. She calls out, gathers everyone together, and not only does she die, they die. And in her last moments, she is saying, I'm so confused right now. I'm on your side, banging on the door, banging on the walls. I'm on your side. What are you talking about? I'm on your side. I'm not your enemy. They are. And maybe there was no enemy in the first place. Maybe those soldiers were hungry, and maybe it was cold, and maybe they wanted to just raid the village, the township. Who knows? But it's that her instinct in the surprise puts her in the signature of trauma healing. The wound is obedience without discernment, fervor without patience, and allegiance without truth. Moving into this lifetime, she's made arrangements here with soul contracts and karmic relationships that either A, were killed with her and because of her command. Okay? We have to interact with the souls that, especially when you die with someone, that's intense, man. That's Pluto at a very intense level. You know, War of the Roses crap, or just, I love you so much. The moment of shock and the death is sort of going, you know, it's creating more of a tension. It's creating more of an attachment. And that's what Pluto is. So she'll have strange relationships. Why? Because they cannot be in a group that she is traditionally attached to. She's got to learn how to make soul choices in moments. She won't have headway, leadway on any of the betrayal. It's going to hit her, you know, like Mike Tyson punch right to the eyeball. It's just going to hit her. And in that moment, she will have to decide, you know, are these people worth protecting? Is it my job to protect these people? Do they even want my help? You know, should I be helping them in the first place? She's one of these should people that should be saying should. She's trying to create equilibrium. Blind trust in the hierarchy. Can't tell you how many British soldiers probably heard that in the day, right? Needing some type of group validation. So she may diminish herself, right? Maybe the group validates her too much. And that's part of the wound, is they love her, and they love her so much. Emotional urgency to speak. A righteous fervor clouded by illusion. Because hungry people, they lose their beliefs real quick when they're starving. Real quick. History has shown it over and over again, how a hungry person will go mad for the hunger. They'll eat things they never would have normally. So in this lifetime, she is to listen, ask first whether this person wants a hug, do they want help, or are they hurt, before she makes a move to do anything. Would you like my opinion in the first place? Do you want my advice? Right? Otherwise, I'm just going to listen. I'm going to try to stay in my lane as much as possible. She would do better in this lifetime to ask more questions than to speak. And when these moments of jarring occur, it's the different people that are not normal in her world that she specifically aligned to meet, and then love, and then start to groom the ideas of letting go of these fixed areas of her chart that told her that the only way was the conventional way. Because sometimes the oddball person, they deserve dignity, love, protection as well. You don't just kick certain people out just because your political stance says so. You don't just not feed people because they're homeless, you know? And that crossing over from the South Node in Virgo that is very black and white, you don't belong in this bathroom, right? Your bathroom's out back. She's to leave that state of mind and to move into the Aries point. And gratefully, she's pulled out of these conventional groups on purpose. Eventually, she gets to the point where her Venus in Aries actually is willing to love so hard that she'll bend. Oh, you have rules? That's cute, you know? But the Pisces energy over my fifth says this person needs my love. They need my protection. And no, I'm not going to just let you take them anywhere. What are you talking about? No, we're not stepping into the church this time. You know what I mean? People get burned when they go in there. And so any kind of past life placement there, notice the Cancer over the ninth. Well, Jerry, thank you very much for letting us use your chart. This is definitely not a full reading. If you would like a full reading, the links are underneath this video. The full reading is about 2.5 hours long. I study the chart like sometimes 3 days in advance. And I'll pour a lot of hours in. I know this was like just off the cuff today, but I'll put the study time in on your chart. I'll record the session with you, and then I'll send you the video back so you have it with you. And I can't tell you how many people who send me emails or comments all the time, how much they return to the video of our reading session together. This is an extremely useful, reading that can give you so much knowledge and wisdom about yourself, where to place yourself, where to place your spiritual gifts. We talk about that. Like don't touch the blue button over here, no matter what you do. But if you want to dance on your head and, croon like Bing Crosby over there on the left, go do it over there. And don't go over there. And that way we can create better choices. I like to empower people, but more often than not, I like to just hand them peace of mind, that there was a blueprint the day that you were idealized into a human being. And that blueprint we can read. And I don't mind cheating the system. I don't know about you.
Heck yeah. Love to play along. Let's always make it fun. And this has been a great episode, Miriam. Again, as always, thank you guys for joining us and engaging with us. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And we do go live every weekend to do the free tarot readings through Woke.Ones.Revolution. And we're posting the Real World Astrology bi-weekly. All the things that we have going on for our patrons, they got the All Signs Tarot this month. If you aren't a patron of ours, you didn't get it, so join us and keep showing up. We loved having you here, and hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving or just the rest of November and, keep finding reasons to love life.
Yes. Build a Life Worth Living
Yeah.
by Marsha Lindemann. Sorry. Okay.
Plugs.
See you later, guys.
Bye. Take
sunshine.